Harwich
Conservation
Trust.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for having us, Paul.
Not at all. What would we do without you?
Well, it's good to be here.
It's good to have you, and you have the Hall property and vernal pools and the owls, right?
Yeah, it's a great lineup. Yeah, so we start right on the Hall property?
Right away. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the Hall family, Arthur Hall Sr. and his wife Carolyn, and their 3 sons, Alan, Arthur Jr., and Aaron, have been thinking about selling their last 4 acres there on the West Reservoir to the town, and also working in partnership with the Harwich Conservation Trust for many years. And these lands, have been in their family a long time. Alan was just telling me the other day, he's the primary person I've been working with through the Hall family. He's a 14th generation Cape Codder.
Wow.
I'm a wash ashore.
Yeah, likewise.
Likewise, a lot of us are. Of course, whether you're a native Cape Codder or wash ashore, I think it's all about how we treat the landscape around us and the care and sensitivity we bring to it.
Right.
But the Hall family, has been sincere in their interest, and at long last, we've reached an agreement, and thanks to town meeting voters authorizing $630,000 in Town Community Preservation Act funds. So when the town meeting voters authorized that last May, that allowed the town to move forward through the selectmen to purchase the Hall's 4 acres. The 4 acres are part of a larger 22-acre parcel that the Hall family has. This map, actually, could we circle back to the other map? There we go, thank you. This map shows West Reservoir in the center of your screen, and the green around West Reservoir and East Reservoir on the other side of Bell's Neck Road indicates the extent of the town's Bell's Neck conservation lands, right? The bulk of that acquired by the town in 1966. So here we are in 2016, half a century later, and you see, just circle back to that thank you, the area circled in red is the last 4 acres on the West Reservoir there. So somewhat of an emerald necklace now formed around the entire West Reservoir, thanks to the Hall family, thanks to the town of Harwich and Harwich Conservation Trust, all working together to permanently preserve this 4-acre area with over 800 feet of shoreline. And that's an active herring run past that area too. Yeah. Herring run flows there under the Cape Cod Rail Trail, the bike path. And we don't have a trail connection yet. We hope to open a trail connection between the Bell's Neck Conservation Lands to the south and the bike path to the north, maybe sometime this summer. A lot of moving parts. A state agency we have to work with on creating a trail connection to the bike trail in terms for walking trails. We're not going to put a bike trail on this property, but a walking trail to basically try and create an entire loop in concert with the bike trail, a walking trail loop all the way around the West Reservoir. So it's very exciting.
How old are the children that he has? Roughly.
I wouldn't venture to say. I don't know. They're around my age. What does that mean?
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, well, all right. That's good enough. I mean, in other words, they're grown children.
Yeah. And so really a family decision-making process. And, I'd say kudos to many in town government, the selectmen, and I'd say town administrator Chris Clark. He and I work side by side. Certainly the Hall family and Alan in particular. It's been terrific working with them. Now, in addition to selling that 4-acre waterfront landscape to the town, the Halls have seen fit to donate their rights of access. We'll see another map in a second with some red lines. Their rights of access over the wooded cart paths that extend through the town's Bell's Neck conservation lands. Okay, so we're looking at this map. You see the blue is essentially West Reservoir. up to the top of the image is Depot Road that roughly runs along near the border of Dennis and Harwich, right? So we're in West Harwich / North Harwich. To the lower part of the screen is Bell's Neck Road, the dirt road. And then, of course, on the right part of the screen is the Cape Cod Rail Trail bike path, just to orient you. And those red lines, again, indicate the different cart paths, the wooded cart paths that already they've extended through the Bell's Neck Conservation Lands long before the town acquired it in 1966. And so the Halls have had rights to use those cart paths, including vehicle passage, potentially across those paths. So they've released those rights. They've extinguished those rights by donating them to the town. And what does that mean? Well, basically, it's a big step for the long-term protection of this area in terms of land stewardship or land management. It creates a safer, quieter, more scenic experience for walkers. You know, hats off to them again for that very generous gift. Really quite a lot of activity happening conservation-wise in one of the gems of conservation lands in Harwich, the Bell's Neck area. So,
Now,
yeah.
if you were to walk in the bike path, which path would you go and which direction would you be?
Well, we haven't created a walking trail connection yet, but when we do, we'll be able to map that and let people know the best route into this area. Yeah, so it's unfolding. You know, it's a process that we have to undergo now. Now that we've preserved the 4 acres, now we have to work on the walking trail part. Yeah, so it takes time. Yeah, yeah.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
So, and the next thing you want to talk about is the
vernal pools.
vernal pool.
Yeah, well, it's that time of year, you know. It's
I know.
on the edge of winter's end and the edge of spring's beginning. So, you know, when the temperature gets probably up in the 40s after a warmer rain than we've had of late, since it's been sort of on that freezing edge, you know, you'll start to hear spring peepers. You know, if you open your window driving around town, they're emerging from wetlands and giving their chorus, mating chorus. Well, that can be an indicator of a potential vernal pool. What is a vernal pool? It's essentially a wetland area that fills with groundwater because of precipitation, snow, and rain falling throughout the winter months. But it elevates the groundwater to fill these low depressions in the landscape, and they offer these really sensitive and vulnerable habitats that can't support fish populations, but can support amphibian populations or invertebrates like fairy shrimp that can only exist because fish aren't eating the eggs of these amphibians. So very important dynamic. If it weren't for some of these vernal pools, you wouldn't have some of these unique creatures like wood frog or spotted salamander or fairy shrimp even surviving here. Here's some spotted salamander eggs here in an egg mass. The eggs are sort of stuck together in kind of a gel, a jelly-like substance. It's secreted by the spotted salamander. They almost glow with life. That's actually underwater. The water's very clear in this particular vernal pool. And so that's probably in maybe 6 inches of water or so. So these salamanders will migrate out from their underground burrows. There's a good image there that's illustrated by Rebecca Locke. And spotted salamanders will emerge from their underground woodland burrows in the surrounding upland to these vernal pools. They spend most of their lives, right, in these underground burrows and just emerge in those early spring nights. Usually the stormiest, warmest spring night of the season, and they'll maneuver down to these vernal pools and congregate and lay their eggs, and then they'll retreat back to their burrows, and the eggs are pretty much on their own. They'll hatch or be consumed by other creatures in the landscape. And if they're lucky enough to hatch and survive, they'll grow into larvae and then into full-fledged adults and begin the life cycle anew. So pretty exciting. So that's what's happening ecologically this time of year, and we are having a presentation on Saturday, February 27th, right here in the Community Center Multipurpose Room at 2 p.m., all about vernal pools. So come on down, and suggested $5 per person, and you'll learn more.
How many vernal pools have you got now?
Well, before HCT volunteers started discovering and certifying them around town, there were 5 that were certified in town. And after the HCT volunteers started their vernal pool identification work, there's over 40.
Well, that's a big,
So most
big
of them,
increase.
yeah, most of them on conservation land, which is good.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting.
And the next thing that we want to talk about is the owls, right?
Oh, yes. 10th annual. Can you believe it?
Owls?
10th annual live owl program. They're going to bring up to 7 different species. Marcia and Mark Wilson. You see some great photos in a second. And, you know, it's just amazing. There's Mark and Marcia. Mark's holding a Eurasian eagle owl. That's the largest owl species in the world by weight. And Marcia has a snowy owl that ghostly looking owl, beautiful owl from the far north, right? Living in the Arctic tundra, sometimes taking ducks on the wing. It's a very powerful bird. And hunting during the day, so diurnal during the day, as opposed to the habits of most of these owls, which is nocturnal or hunting at night. So you'll learn all sorts of interesting facts in biology and interesting aspects of owl life. These are 2 spectacled owls, and they're from South America. Marshall will bring them, and you'll see another snowy owl there, another beautiful photo in a second. These are photos also that Mark Wilson has taken. He's a retired photographer, professional photographer from the Boston Globe. So he starts the program with an amazing slideshow. Marcia accompanies him by actually mimicking the owl calls. So she's giving the sounds of the owls as he is describing their biology and behavior and showcasing these amazing photos. And then they'll bring the owls out, species by species, and they'll actually invite people up to hoot alongside the owls. So it'll be a hooting demonstration. Believe it or not, the owls actually turn their heads sometimes 180 degrees. They can turn their heads so they can look over their back. Don't try that right now.
No, I won't.
And here's a little saw-whet owl. That's one of our native species, right? And really not much bigger than a soda can, but sort of larger than life, little personality. All of these owls have permanent disabilities, right? They cannot be released back into the wild, but Marcia and Mark carry these special state and federal permits, which enable them to bring these owls around on these unique educational programs. We have programs at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. We've kept the prices same since year 1, 10 years ago. $5 ages 5 to 11, and $10 ages 12 and up. And it's not really recommended for under age 5. And it's just an amazing experience. People come year after year, and the stories are fascinating, and the questions that the audience asks is really fascinating too, because Marcia and Mark will walk around the audience with these owls on gloved hands, right, because they have talons, these owls do, and really give people an up-close and personal experience. So it's March 5th, Saturday, March 5th, here in the Community Center gym. People can reserve online in advance by credit card if they want at our website, harwichconservationtrust.org, and learn more at our website as well.
What time is it now?
10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. We have 3 different programs, so we're here all day.
Now are you going to be in the gym?
The gym, that's right, we'll be in the gym. We used to, way back, be in the multipurpose room, but we outgrew the space because it's such a popular program. So we're in the gym. We have plenty of room for Marcia and Mark to walk around and connect with people along with the owls. So, and you can take photos of these owls, just no flashes, but you can, get right up close and personal and take amazing photos, and everybody's got a photo in their hand with these
Everybody has their instant camera with them, right?
Yeah, so you can really take away some really neat photo memories. So it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I've seen you there.
So,
So thanks for having us again.
well, it's always good to have you.
Yeah.
And good luck with your programs.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks.